Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka The Beard Guy, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the rise of the microbrands.
Lunch with Norm.
All right, we are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. While we're doing that, Kelsey, tell everybody what we're supposed to do.
All right, as usual, follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and our podcast is now official. So Apple Podcasts you can find us on. We also have a brand new website, Lunch with Norm, where you can find the bios and descriptions of every guest we've talked to, and any links they may have mentioned. So, yep, it's very good. Highly recommend. If you want to watch the podcast, you can go to our YouTube channel. The full episodes are all there, along with some shorter clips.
Right, and we're going to be broadcasting every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
So the other thing is we are trying to put out as much content as possible, quality content, not things from 3 or 5 years ago, but you can get the content. We've got the videos that we're doing, the podcasts that we're doing. We're writing blogs. We have guest blog writers for us on all the websites. As well, we've got the newsletter, and it's a newsletter that has more content that is from around the industry, not only Amazon, e-commerce. You'll see stuff about Shopify, digital marketing, email campaign, whatever it is that can help optimize your listing or your, what am I trying to say? Just try to optimize your business for online sales. That's what I was trying to say. Anyways, subscribe to the newsletter and you'll get extra content as well. So I think that's it for today's update, right, Kels?
Don't forget to like and share. If you're watching right now, hit those like buttons. And yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, and if you have any questions, just throw it over in the comment section and we'll make sure that we get them answered for you. So I've got an incredible guest for everybody today. I hope there's so many people watching live because I hear it all the time. Hey everybody, I'm back. I don't know how long. I probably was just talking into thin air, but here we go again. I'm really excited to talk to our guest today, David Gimes from paw.com. He's going to show Amazon sellers that you don't have to just be on Amazon to make it. He's an 8-figure seller that is not, or sells only a little bit on Amazon. And it's only been recently he's opened up a store. All of his efforts have been done on Shopify. So I really think this is going to be inspiring. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of people listening to this because it's going to be something that you're going to learn. David's a great guy. I've known him for years. We've had many cigars together, and he's extremely humble. He's willing to share all of his experiences. And anyways, I can't wait to start talking to him. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. So I think David is ready to come on. There's the man. Oh,
hey, Norm.
And Marley in the background.
Me and Marley just hanging out. Hi, Norm. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure. So a fellow Canuck, by the way.
Yep. Originally from Toronto, Canada.
Just, stone's throw away. Now, I do wish I was down in Fort Lauderdale with you, but anyways, I can't get across the border. Well, why don't we tell people a little bit about your background?
Sure. Yeah. So my name is David Gimes, as Norm mentioned. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada, and I now live down in Fort Lauderdale. I started paw.com 6 years ago, and it's been a great journey ever since. So at paw.com, a quick snippet is we design, manufacture, and sell premium quality pet products that are perfect for your pet and look beautiful in your home. As you can see, my little girl modeling out one of our products right behind her. And she's not paid to do that. That's on her own free will.
Oh, that's great. I didn't even realize. I thought she was on like a regular bed, but she's on one of your products. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, now we can just dive right into creating product development and what you're doing so differently that everybody else is not. Like they're all going over to Amazon. Oh, here's a question. When you started the company, did you not think that you had to go on Amazon first?
Actually, no. The way that I started the company was actually a subscription initially, right? It was at the time that BarkBox, if yourself and your viewers are aware, it's a monthly subscription box that arrives to your doorstep. It's full of treats and goodies, and it's a fun little surprise for your dog. So I was living in Canada, and I noticed that that company was on the rise, and they didn't have much of an influence in Canada yet. So that's how the company started. And initially, I thought the best and easiest way would be going directly through my website, since I had more leverage on how that customer experience would be signing up for a subscription box.
So going back a few years, did you have any experience in e-com?
I did not. I worked a little bit with a friend who was in e-com and helping him out, and that kind of got my toe wet and kind of ignited the fire inside me. But I've always been very entrepreneurial, and I had that burning desire within me. And when I decided to take the plunge, I thought e-com and shopping online is the way of the future. And I decided to get into that space right off the bat.
How did you start? Like, what did you do first to understand e-com? I mean, it's so complex, right?
Honestly, I jumped in it with both feet. I just really I approached a friend of mine, and I said, I want to start a business. He said, sure, come to my place tomorrow with 5 ideas. And that's really how it started.
That's how you started.
I swear to you, I thought about it. I thought, what industry do I want to go in? And I've grown up with pets my whole life. I had dogs that were part of the family. So I thought, I love this market. I love that people treat their pets as family members. I'd love to be in this space where I can benefit the pet and the pet parent. So I approached the situation. I said, I want to do this. And we bought the name that day. And that's when the race started.
Wow. Well, before we get started, I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs. First of all, I'm shocked. Christine, oh my gosh, it's been a long time. Christine worked with me years ago at another company I had, Angelfish. I don't know if you remember that company. But hey, Daniel, it's always good to see you. Daniel's been featured on this podcast as well as I know this guy. And I know I'm going to get this name wrong, but I apologize in advance. Here's a shout out to Olu Imenian. How's that? Did I do okay? I hope I did. And James. Anyway, okay, so where did you start? So you got 5 names from your friends, you came up with this, and then did the product development? Was that the first thing? Where did you go from there?
So as I mentioned, we started with the subscription box, and I ran that model for close to a year, Norm. At the peak of it, we had almost 2,000 subscribers, and I actually moved my shipping and logistics facility down here to Florida. That's what initially started having me come down and visit Florida before I made the big move. But I was doing it, and you know what? It was a lot of work. It was a model that took lots of dollars, which I didn't have. And I decided, rather than doing this, why don't I pivot to a product-based service where I'm creating in-house original products for pets and their pet parents that are great for the pet and look beautiful in the home. So that's when my mind started swirling on what's missing in the market. And I quickly realized that the pet space, especially the non-consumable market, it's very commodity based. People are used to the cheap beds, cheap blankets, cheap travel products that they purchase. They get dirty, they get stinky. You end up throwing it in the corner of the room when you have friends or family over. You throw it out and you repeat the cycle. And for me, the cornerstone of paw.com are our pets, our family, and they deserve, a great bed, just as any family member, considering they spend half their life on it. So that was the mindset I had, and that's how our product lines began to grow and develop.
So let's go through a step-by-step process. Somebody's on Amazon right now, or they're new to e-com, so they want to build an online store. What would be your advice? Just walk us through it, step by step. What should they do?
I mean, I think you first of all have to dial in on your niche, or what kind of market, and person that you're trying to gain as a customer. And from there, look at what's already on the market, whether you want to take something that's already current and modify it and make it better, or find the gap, and like what we did, and try to create something that's going to serve a need that's not there currently. From there, moving into sourcing, samples, whether you're getting your product done here domestically or overseas. That's always a hurdle to find the right manufacturers. And from there, I recommend starting small. I mean, the number one thing I believe is risk mitigation in any business, whether it's financial controls or new product lines. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket, in my opinion. And I think that speaks to our longevity and our scale. Take something, find a great manufacturer, iterate it, get friends and family opinions, order a small amount, get it out to the market, see the feedback, change whatever's necessary, and then scale from there.
Okay, so once you do that, what about the marketing? So how were you able to market to bring this up to 8 figures?
So I really, like most parts of the business, at the beginning, I did everything. And it's a little bit of a blessing and a curse in a way, because I was so busy and so consumed, but I also got the chance to learn every aspect of the business, from financial to product sourcing to managing 3PLs, and all the way to marketing, and then final to getting to your customer. I dove in head first, and we really harnessed the power of social media marketing, Facebook, Instagram, now Pinterest, YouTube, Google AdWords. Really learned that. I took a lot of time, and honestly, thousands of hours, hundreds of thousands of hours over the years, doing it myself. And we really focused on social media marketing. That's a way to hit many people, and you're able to actually measure it tangibly with conversion costs and other KPIs.
It's tough to do it all yourself. And typically when I talk to entrepreneurs, when I first talk to entrepreneurs, I always hear they do it all themselves until they're probably working 25, 26 hours a day and going crazy. So how were you able, or what was the point when you decided that you were going to delegate?
That's funny, Norm, that you ask, and that's such an important question because that is such a pivotal moment, I believe, in an entrepreneur's life. When you start a company, you're so invested, and if you're like me, you want it to succeed with every ounce of your soul. So you take everything on, you do it to the best of your ability. Eventually, you get to a point where you start hiring on, and you slowly release some of these obligations. But there is a moment in every entrepreneur's life, I believe, where you become a leader rather than a doer. And that's very difficult to get to. It took me years to get to that point where I felt comfortable enough in my team and in my processes and procedures where I was able to confidently begin delegation. And that's the point where I think an entrepreneur can get in his own way of growth if you're not able to get to that point and beyond of leadership.
So I've been to your office. I've been to your office many times. You have in-house people that you are working with. So what made you decide to go in-house rather than go overseas and get a VA or somebody to help you?
Right. I think there's such a powerful aspect of brainstorming and connectivity and overall success of a company if you're surrounded by people physically who are all working towards the same goal. I wouldn't change anything with my team. I think being in-house is the way to go. I'll always do it. And just that simple fact of being able to reach out to somebody in real time and get feedback and think of thoughts and brainstorm, that I think that's very powerful to a successful team.
I just want to take a look at a couple questions that came in. So James Brazil, let me see. Did you start with any omni-channel listing service or listing tools?
Norm, you're going to have to educate me on an omni-channel listing tool. So the answer is probably going to be no, since I've done.
So there's the answer, James. No.
No.
Yeah. So there's different. If you wanted to get onto eBay, just different types of e-commerce platforms, there's tools that you can get that help you out with that. But from what I understand, you were just basically on Shopify. And at the beginning, you were just doing Facebook ads, weren't you?
Yeah, exactly. We were just on Shopify. We were driving 100% of our sales directly to our Shopify site. And that was through, a variety of Facebook ads. Early on, Facebook ads, Instagram, a little bit of Google. So just digital media sort of marketing tools that pushed us in the right direction.
So, Dave, after we get off this podcast, I'll be talking to you about some omni-channel tools that we can.
That sounds good. And you know what? I'm glad that happened because I'm always looking to learn. I think that's part of the job. You are always sponge mode. Exactly. Is what I call it. And I'm not afraid to say I don't know something because that's the name of the game. The moment you stop learning as an entrepreneur and think you have it all figured out is the moment you're on your downfall.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ask this question. I'm just kind of curious because we're on this topic, but you talk about learning. What type of learning do you do? Do you do regular learning? Do you subscribe to like Digital Marketer or any of those platforms where it's all about training?
I have done those, but I'm more of a hands-on type learner where I do subscribe to a bunch of different Facebook groups for ad buying and digital marketing that I'm a habit of nature, or I constantly look through them every day. It's like my morning thing with my coffee and checking out my Facebook groups and seeing what's on and what people are doing. But I'm the type where I'm hands-on, and I guess the way my company started, I was forced to learn everything myself. So I did research where necessary, but when it came time to produce, I really just jumped in there and learned along the way.
Okay, so I've got another, let's see, Brian Lischwitz, another rock star entrepreneur, by the way. He's got a pet product. My glasses are so bad. Kels, I've got a
Okay.
pet product.
You need you need
Yeah,
me to read it for you, Norm?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I'm an old guy with the wrong glasses.
all
So
right.
what does
Go
it
ahead,
say,
Kel.
Kels?
So it says, I have a pet product. I have a pet product. Would love to collaborate with David. Can you connect us? I know we have also a couple other questions.
Yep. So
we
sure.
have
By the way, Brian, that'll definitely happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so a question for our guest. It's from Timmy. What challenge did he face in the process of starting up in the journey till date?
Oh man, what challenge didn't I have, to be honest? In the beginning of this company, I was so bootstrapped that I would honestly wake up in the middle of the night. The entrepreneurs always say this, oh man, I couldn't sleep, but it was physically happening to me. When I had to put up front cash for product and order for our boxes, that was extremely hard. It was hard to get through that phase, but with good planning and the right partners, I was able to kind of get over that hump. Now the main challenges for us, to be honest, is keeping up with our scale. We're flying like this on a year over year basis, and just keeping up with it logistically, financially, everything moving to catch up to this growth has been a major challenge, but we're doing a great job as a team.
Are you sleeping at night?
Yeah, I sleep great. Sometimes I get the odd dream, but we're at the point in the business where we have fantastic teams. Our departments are strong. Everybody knows their job. Everybody's working towards a singular goal, which is the ultimate success of this company. And of course, I still have struggles and headaches and things of that nature, but I have to believe we're on the right path, and that's the way that it keeps me focused and one step ahead of the next.
So I've been able to talk to your team, and I know some of them. I don't know some of them, but I know the quality of the work that they put out is incredible. And one of the things that you've done where I've seen so many great entrepreneurs follow is hiring smarter than themselves. So your team, like if I take a look at social media, if I take a look at your logistics person, they ask the right questions. And the reason, like one of the reasons I see that not only do you have a quality company, but a quality brand, and it's constantly growing, is because you've got people out there that represent the brand and have the culture that's comes right from the top down. So yeah, it's great to see. And so many times I see people, especially when they're building a store for the first time online, they want to do everything on the cheap. And there's so many places that they screw up because they're spending it on horrible images because they've got their own iPhone and they think they're a photographer, or they try to be a copywriter and they suck at it. But even logistics, there's so many. We've got this other presentation that we talk about, just ways to save money that people have no idea that they're just blowing 20-30%, and they don't know. And until you get somebody in a position where you can't do everything, and if you're trying to hire somebody overseas for $2 an hour, which I hear all the time, I got bragging, I got somebody at $2.50 at $3 an hour. Congratulations. Just congratulations. It's not going to build a solid team. They might be good people. Are they great people? Are they able to really do what you want to do to grow a company? And I don't think that's the case a lot of the times, unless you properly train them and you have, really quality SOPs. And, there's a lot of people that just go out there and hire people that don't know what they're doing or how they're doing. And by the way, just quickly, if you are interested in learning how to do it and hire a company properly, you can go to companies like FreeUp or Upwork. But there's an incredible course on the market. I've taken it. I've gone through eMyth, the eMyth Academy, where I learned automation. And Christine, you'll remember this. Remember our policies and procedures that we had to go through every week. But anyways, there's a course called Outsource School by Nathan Hirsch. It's very affordable, and it teaches you the whole process, how you can hire really great people and how to keep them up to speed and understanding the corporate culture. So it's kind of funny that it's a coincidence that you're on, because Jeff Sass, I think you know Jeff. Jeff Sass was on last week, and guess what he was talking about? Building a brand story. And I know that you worked with Jeff to do that. One of the things to build the culture inside and out was to create a story about your company, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jeff is our CMO. He's the big shot in the marketing department, but he's very good at what he does, and
Yeah.
he really helped us develop the brand story, which is, after going through the exercise, I thought I knew what we were doing and what we were, shooting to achieve for, but it opened my eyes, and honestly the whole company's eyes, to another level of what kind of messaging we're trying to provide to our current customers and any potential customers.
So I'm interested. There's a great book called Crossing the Chasm. Actually, Colin Campbell, who you know, told me about that. And it really helped me understand how a hyper growth company can get over the hump. So interested to hear what you did to be able to handle the quick growth that you've done over the last couple of years.
Yeah, speaking of that book, I think Colin has mentioned it to me about a dozen times over a couple glasses of
you gotta
wine.
read it.
So I know I gotta read it, because I'm sure it's coming again. But no, Colin's great. He has tons of knowledge and insight. And to be honest, anything he advises somebody to do in the entrepreneurial world, I would follow it, because he knows what he's talking about. But for me personally, I truly believe in pace of scale. I think everything should be done at the appropriate time. I'm not the type where I start a business today and I hire 20 people tomorrow.
Right.
As the company grew, I think I did a good job of placing certain processes and procedures and team roles into the mix that allowed us to transition from, $88,000 year one to 16 million last year. It didn't happen overnight, and nor did our the kind of umbrella of the company. It slowly grew. I think I kept an eye on the vision of what we wanted to do, and things fell into place as they were supposed to, and nothing was really forced. I think that's important.
So just again, all right. So year one, minor. Year two, you grew it to 16.
No, that was over 4 years.
4 years. Still, 16 over 4 years is fantastic.
Yeah. It's been a growth, and we've done it profitably, which I had to, because we haven't taken on any major financial investments, no series rounds. So it's a healthy, profitable growth. Now that we've transitioned to the paw.com name and the full brand, we're really looking to explode this to its full potential.
Okay, so you had the name of the company was Treat a Dog.
That's
How
right.
important was it to get paw.com? Now, paw.com, if you don't realize, it's 3 characters. So in the domain world, it would probably be a very expensive name to acquire. Not sure, but I would think it would be. So did it pay off, or is it paying off?
Short answer, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, Norm, we probably would have continued with the same growth if we remained Treat a Dog.
Mm-hmm.
But what paw.com has done for us, number one, it's opened us up to the pet market at large. Now, we've launched our first cat products because
Mm-hmm.
cats have paws too, right? So it's allowed us to step into markets outside of just dogs, which we love because we're an all-inclusive pet company. And it's really set the stage for our brand building. A name like paw.com, that will be a household name. That's a name that people are going to associate with premium quality pet products that are original designs, that have longevity, and they're luxurious and durable. And it's nice and short for someone to remember. So the branding element of paw.com is huge. We love it, and we're super excited to continue the build with this new name.
Great. So here's another question, I think, from Timmy. Kels, do your trick.
All right. Yeah, we actually have like three questions that came
Okay.
in. So the first one, when things were not going right at a time in your business, how did you respond, and what advice would you give to entrepreneurs out there?
Jeez, go to the bar. That's my advice.
Okay, very good.
No, I'm just playing with you, Norm. Well, half truth, but I would say, I mean, I think when things were going kind of south for me, you have to take a minute to step back. You have to plan out your next steps. You never rush into anything, with a heated head. So I would say take your time. If you have partners, talk with them, mull over situations, and ultimately find out what's the best option for you. And at the same time, it's going to be stressful. You need to find ways where you can take your mind off of it for a period of time, and allow yourself to kind of zen out, you know what I mean? And gather your thoughts and approach the situation back when you have a clear mind.
That's interesting that you brought that up, because one of the questions I was going to ask is, you've got a hyper growth company, yet it's not so much a question, I guess it's a comment. You take time out of your day to enjoy yourself. You enjoy your life, right? It's not work, work, work.
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing about an entrepreneur's life is that you have free time, yet you never have free time. It's a weird balance, because I'm thinking about my work 24 hours a day, to be honest. There's always something that's reminding me of it, or something I have to do. But at the same time, I have the ability to step aside for a day if I need to travel somewhere and work remotely. So I think it's really important to keep that balance as much as possible. It's very difficult, I'm not going to lie, when you have the pressures of running your own business and being a team leader. It's difficult to get that off your mind and be free of it for an extended period of time, if not impossible. But just being able to enjoy the things that you do. I have a beautiful, wonderful girlfriend and a gorgeous dog. We love to go on little trips, whenever we can, and get out to the beach and go golfing, whatever the case may be. When you can take that little chunk of time and allow yourself to recharge, super important for longevity, in my opinion.
I just thought of something. So you've got the pup rug in the background, but you've also extended the brand. I guess this is for the trips. Putting Marley in the back seat, is that the reason for the dog hammock, the other product that you have?
Yeah, so Marley she's our chief product tester. It's a C-list executive role here. So if she doesn't like it, we don't sell it. And I'm very strict about that. So everything we design, a lot of it comes from our own internal inspiration and Marley, but we love to listen to our customers. We love to listen to our reviews. Anywhere that we have a connection with a customer and they leave feedback, that helps us and inspires us for our current products and future collections. So what you mentioned, Norm, the backseat cover, that came directly from, well, I don't want to get my car dirty. Let's have this product developed. And same can be said for our blanket line. Waterproof blankets aren't a new thing in this world, but what we did is we designed it to look beautiful, to match our pup rug beds, to look great in your home decor, blend in that it doesn't look like a dog blanket, but at the same time it's fully waterproof, it's washable, it has all the necessities that you'd want in a waterproof pet blanket.
Got it. So, Kelsey, I think Brian, what's that say?
Yeah, so we got one more after this.
I'm sure there's going to be a comment, get better glasses or something like that.
All right, the question is, what automation are you using? How many packages a day are you sending out?
So in terms of automation, I'm assuming since he's asking about orders, it's maybe fulfillment.
Right.
Is that correct?
I'm thinking.
So we actually, we work with a 3PL company. We don't try to send the product ourselves. Main reason for that is our products are quite big, especially when it comes to the beds. We are located in about 8 different warehouses around the United States to offer our customers free shipping. So we do about 300 orders, packages on an average day, and during the busier times, you can double that.
Okay. All right. I think there's another question from James.
Yep, this is the last question we have so far. So paw.com support. Did any challenges along the way with contacting Amazon or other marketplaces support/help shape your company's support?
Yeah, you know what? It was interesting because we just started Amazon and selling on Amazon a little over a year ago, and it's doing well. Amazon's not going away. We wanted to be a part of that. I know there are buyers out there who strictly buy on the Amazon platform. So we were excited to get in there. At the beginning of our migration into Amazon, we were given a rep, which was fantastic help. And I don't know if they still do this, but after 6 months, they cut us off. They're like, okay, you're ready to go. You're a big boy now. So it is difficult contacting Amazon. We do have some challenges that we're actually working through. But in terms of shaping our company, I think, our products and our brand speaks for itself. Amazon's just another outlet for people to purchase that product on.
Yeah, if I'm looking at that question, I'm probably thinking, I'm not sure, James, and I know, David, we've had this experience, right? Just recently that Amazon, we got 10 different answers from something we were trying to solve for you.
That's
and
right.
It's so frustrating. And I think that's what James is talking about. You've got great customer support, and how to build great customer support is not to replicate Amazon. So anyways, that's just my opinion, but I think that's what he was getting to. All right, let's talk about sourcing. So you've got to go over to China. It's not a domestic product, not that I know of. What's the importance of sourcing? What did you do to make sure that you had a quality product coming out of there? And I guess let's start with that.
Yeah, I mean, sourcing product, it's the beating heart of the company, right? I spent a long time speaking to manufacturers, getting samples, and ultimately narrowing down the playing field until I felt like I had the right manufacturer that had product quality in mind and scale. And that took a little bit of time. But to be honest, I've been lucky enough to be with the same manufacturer for years now, and we've grown together. I'm sure I'm putting all their kids through college with the amount of money we're sending that way. But at the same time, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. And we've been good to each other, and I think finding the right manufacturer is key, but it just takes a little bit of time. Don't be afraid to contact as many manufacturers as you can handle and get samples and leverage the costs against each other, and ultimately land on one you feel that they're going to be able to move the needle with.
Cash flow is everything. And to grow the way that you've grown, how did you handle the cash flow? Crawled into a fetal position and
exactly. Yeah, maybe shed a couple tears. It's as we've grown, I've had to really, I've had to open my mind to the way the finances of a business works, and had to take on different loans and things like that to pay for inventory during peak times of the year. So with everything else in the business, I jumped in. I had to learn myself, and I was then able to bring in some help that was able to make it easier. But I think what we did is that we never put all of our eggs into one basket in terms of cash flow. I would be ordering product on a monthly basis, and it would slowly arrive in, replenish, and come in again. So just in case anything were to ever happen, we got that cash in the bank. But don't be afraid to look at Shopify loans, at PayPal loans, for things like that are pretty lenient in their underwriting to help bring that cash flow up in needing times.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing for an entrepreneur is the cash flow. People think, and I notice this in Amazon, people go in and they manage the inventory cost, but they don't count on the inventory or the product taking off. And I've talked to sellers that have had to sell their product for next to nothing because they had a good or a great selling product, and all of a sudden they couldn't afford it. Their downfall was they didn't account for cash flow. And like for Amazon, we always say, look, if you're going to be looking at a product, make sure you have at least 2.5 to 3 times your cost of goods or the inventory. And if you don't have that, you could be looking at disaster. But cash flow is everything when it comes to an online business. Unless you can listen to Elena Saras. She's got another great model with drop shipping. So we talked to her earlier on, and that's a whole different ballgame. All right, so let's talk about some mistakes. What are some mistakes that you've made, and what are some suggestions that people don't do?
It's a double-edged sword. I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with an entrepreneur trying to take on too much himself. I think a big mistake, and something I did for a little while, is you actually become your own potion of downfall. When you get to the point and you're not bringing in smarter people around you that can do tasks better than you. That's not to say you can't do it yourself, but I need to be in a position where I can look at the business. I'm working on the business, not in the business. So I think a good word of advice is when you get to a point where you feel like you're being pulled in 100 different directions, that's when you need to bring in some great team members and really allow you to continue to grow your business.
All right. So let's go back. There's a few more questions.
Okay, so yeah, we just have a couple questions. We are at, I think, the 45-minute mark. So
okay.
Maybe after these, we can. So first question: what marketing strategies did you imbibe that became a game changer, and where do you see your products in the next 5 to 10 years?
So we really jumped into the social media marketing game early on when Facebook ads were still pretty new. So the competition wasn't as great as it is today. Also, the reach and smartness of the pixel wasn't there either. So it's kind of like a balance off. But we really focused on social media marketing, hitting mass amounts of people with our product and our lines and bringing them in as customers. And second part of that question, in terms of our product line, what we're building here at paw.com is a fully encompassing pet lifestyle brand. So the moment you walk into a paw.com home, you see the blanket, on the bed. They have the runner in front of the fireplace. You move to somebody's bedroom. They have a pup rug in the corner with the matching cowhide on the blanket or on the bed, excuse me. And then I can't give away too much of our future lines, but we're jumping into other parts of the pet industry that we're very excited about. But everything remains the same in terms of paw.com's cornerstone. We design and manufacture everything in-house. Everything is always a paw.com original. And the focus is always at bringing bridging that gap between what's great for your pet and what's great for the pet parent.
I've got a question that's going to make you cringe. So
Let's hear it.
you come up with these great products, okay? And they're usually the first to market, very unique. How do you protect yourself about the Chinese knockoffs that you start seeing, start to wander into market?
Yeah, good question. I mean, the more successful you become, we've been noticing it, that the more people are trying to knock you off. So we've been putting a lot of patents into place and a lot of trademarks. We have design patents on that bed right behind you that you can see. And we have currently other patents that are in the works. Making sure you got your trademarks under control so you can keep, like, for example, for your Amazon people out there, making sure you have that trademark to protect yourself there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you will get knockoffs. It's a part of every industry in this world. But if you maintain that, I believe if you maintain that top level quality and customer experience and support, people will want to come back to you rather than going to the fake knockoff.
Right. Okay. Kels, next question.
All right, next question. How do you drive traffic to your Shopify store? And then we'll have one more. And then for everyone that's answering questions or putting up questions, I think this will be our last two. But if there's any other questions you have, put them in the comments and we'll try and get back to you after the show's ended. This question, how do you drive traffic to your Shopify store?
There isn't one answer to this question. I mean, we have our marketing so diversified at this point. We still heavily focus on social media marketing, and that includes Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. We do paid search in Google. But we've got to the point where now we have a fantastic PR firm out of New York that we work with on a continuous basis that are putting us in for earned media, everything from Forbes to Oprah magazine. We just got nominated as in the Inc. 5000's fastest growing private companies in America. So as we grow as a company, we try not to put too much real estate into one marketing avenue. But I think just online, social media and online is a great way for a company to push traffic to their Shopify store.
Yeah, Marina, there's another way that I think you're using these, David, gift guides. People don't think about gift guides. And for the holiday season, and it's getting close to the end because you've really got probably till the end of September before the gift guides evaporate. But there's so many people who don't take advantage of gift guides. Now, I believe you do, correct?
Oh, yeah.
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 And
So we did it. We started it last year.
yeah.
And we're, as you mentioned, we're already, if not completed with our team on the gift guides for this year. You might still have some time, but yeah, typically they like to start getting these done far in advance.
Yeah. So we can always plan for next year, but people don't talk about it. I thought we should bring that up. Are there any other questions, Kels?
Yeah, so the last one we'll do is a COVID question. What challenges have been faced by your company, especially in time like this, where coronavirus is the new challenge in town, and how did you guys respond?
That's a good question, and I've been asked a lot in the recent months. And everything happening in the world and economically and health wise is horrible, but we've been lucky enough to come out on the other side, actually in a beneficial way. I think it has there's a couple factors. Number one, with the early closing of all physical stores, a lot of people who typically didn't shop online or were opposed to it were forced into the online market, right? So just the sheer amount of people buying online increased. And you couple that with people spending more time at home with their dogs. There's a new reconnection with your dog. You're spending more time with them. I think that pushes our purchasing behavior. And then on top of that, just new dog ownership, right? There were shelters all around the country in the US that actually ran out of dogs to adopt for the first time ever. So when you put all those things together, we're lucky enough that we're doing well in these times, and we're very grateful for that. So we hope that this kind of mentality just moves forward within the success of our business.
We have to take a shot of Marley. She looks a little bit. Marley, a male or female?
Oh, so she's a girl.
Hey, there
Marley.
she is. Okay.
They're talking about yeah.
She's been too relaxed the whole call.
That's her spot. Let me tell you.
All right, David. Last question. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't talked about, or have you answered everything?
No, I think we got pretty in depth in there. I want to. I think I hope everybody who watches this is subscribing to your podcast, and this is an informative episode. I had a lot of fun doing it. So check out paw.com for all you guys out there. If you have a pup or a cat, I'm sure we got something great for you. But I'm just grateful to be here. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. So if people want to get in touch with you, just go to paw.com. Is that the best thing?
Yeah, paw.com or any of our social media channels. If you send us a quick DM on Instagram or Facebook, or to our support at paw.com email, we got tons of ways. These days, it's super easy to contact a company, especially like us that really, focus in on our social media. So you can definitely reach us that way.
Okay, so I'm just got one last quick thing. You've got the pet line, you got the dogs, you got the cats. Are you ever going to be coming out with a gnome line?
A gnome?
Yeah.
Like the lawn gnomes?
Yeah, look. Kelsey, go back. The gnome.
Hey, you know what? We might have to make a one-off. Just
okay,
for that little,
I was just wondering.
We'll make a little gnome bed.
Yeah, and a hammock.
Yeah.
He comes with me everywhere.
But on a serious note, not that gnomes aren't serious, paw.com allows us to open up for any pet that has a paw, and that goes outside cats and dogs. So we'll see where the future takes us with that.
Right. And that's why I love the name. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for being on the podcast today. We really appreciate it. I hope everybody learned a bit that you do not have to be just on Amazon, that Shopify, with the right marketing, with the right approach, you can be very successful on that channel as well. So that's it for today's podcast. We'll be posting the whole episode along with shorter clips on Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy. That's my Facebook page, and shorter clips on YouTube. So check it out. We provide content every day. And as well, we are adding content to the websites, and we have a newsletter. So please subscribe, even extra content. So if you're looking for content about e-commerce, we've got it. So anything else, Kelsey?
Yeah, just follow us on on social media. If you're enjoying this show today, just give a like. It does a lot to get eyes on the show.
Slam.
Yeah,
that's what I was told to say. Slam the like.
Yeah, so share, like the video. If you know someone who is interested in e-commerce or Amazon, you can tag them in the video, like our Norman Farrar, aka the Beard Guy page on Facebook.
Ring a bell.
Yeah, ring the bell on YouTube.
Ring that bell. Ring it hard. Okay, see, I'm catching all. This is all good.
Great.
Old guy. Social media. All right, so Friday we're going to have another great episode with a pioneer in e-commerce, Chris Brewer. So Chris Brewer is the president of OMG Commerce. It's going to be great. We're going to be talking about e-commerce and how to grow your micro brands. So tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And thank you again, everybody, for tuning in today. Entrepreneurial.